Hey guys, Lukey here, coach of the Olivine City Beacons. This is week 5 of DPDL Super Low Tier. My opponent this week is Kenava and the Haarlem Hariyamas. Last season, Kenava put an absolute beat down on me. I believe it was 5-0. Completely broke my spirit and had this one marked on my calendar because I knew it would be a good rematch and a good test for me to see if the progress I've been making actually might be going somewhere. So not only that, but at 2-2 and Kenava at 3-1, this game is basically a must-win for the playoffs. Looking at the schedule, some of the people ahead of me have to play each other still. I basically have to win out because ending 4-3 as opposed to 5-2 means that probably one of the people ahead of me will be one of the opponents that I lose to. And it looks like the head-to-head's really going to matter for the playoff picture, maybe even more than differential. So huge match here. So anyway, here's the team preview. I had really prepped for Agron and Cacturn to show up. Neither of them did. And looking at his team, Typhlosion is here, which I expected. Dusknoir and Muck. And Polyrath is a wild card that I hadn't really spent a lot of time on. Luckily, my team seems kind of prepared. But Kenava is all about forcing progress and keeping up offensive pressure. He is very, very rarely going to play passively, and so that's something I have to be watching out for because I tend to get stuck in those situations where I might make a more passive play. So let's get into the match here. I look at his team and I think, you know what, let's stick to the game plan. Mawile first out there. Get the music off here. Mawile, first thing out, and this is going to be a great game, I think, to show off Mawile and Claydol as a defensive backbone. So he goes into Dusknoir. That means intimidated. And I'm max defense. This isn't going to do a whole lot to me. So I think let's go Rocks immediately. As he goes into Muck, and this is sort of a tip-off because Muck normally is more often than not a physical attacker, but coming in on Mawile like that, I mean, one, I can't really do a whole lot to Muck, so there's that. But had me wondering if maybe he was bringing a special set, and he shows Fire Blast, which is a really important piece of information. I'm going to guess that Muck is not usually going to be mixed. It seems not very efficient. So at this point, I bring in Claydol. Claydol is a really, really good check to Muck. I can set up all day. And after some debate and changing things around, I actually brought Nasty Plot Future Sight Claydol. Now it's got Rapid Spin and Earth Power. It's still defensively oriented because that's what Claydol is meant to do. But basically, with my team being fairly passive, I wanted Future Sight to help break through things. As he goes to Armaldo trying to spin, I go to Mawile and get the Future Sight off. He knocks, takes leftovers, which does start to add up. As I knock off myself, get rid of the boots, which means he'll have a hard time coming in the future. He does get the spin, but Future Sight takes a really healthy chunk. As he goes back to Muck, I get Rocks back up, which means now Armaldo is going to take damage if it comes back in. And I just go straight back to Claydol. As he goes to the Fire Blast, it does connect, but Claydol just absolutely eats that up. Great special bulk. And it takes Sludge Bomb well, although the poison is obviously what Kenava wanted here, because that puts Claydol on a timer, and scary to think what it could have done in this match had it not been poisoned. But here, Nasty Plot, this didn't actually matter, but had I been able to stay in, Nasty Plot actually powers up Future Sight if used after the fact. But here I saw the opportunity was too good. We need, especially with Claydol on a timer, Cursula is going to spin block, and he needs to go for it. And he knows the Future Sight is coming. So that felt really good. It was like, I kind of trapped his spinner. It's out of the game. Now rocks are up for sure, unless Altaria has defog. So here I've got Cursula. It comes right back out because I figure the fire move is coming. He goes Fire Blast. There's Flash Fire. Rapidash didn't contribute a whole lot else to this match, but it did that. And play rough here. The could have been the clean 2-hit KO. I decided to just, hit what's in front of me. Muck comes in, takes that really well, gets the attack drop, which is really handy, allows Claydol to come in. Well, actually, no, because it's special, doesn't really matter. Even with the crit, eats that up. The poison is doing a number on it, though, but I get another Future Sight up, and this is where I figure I can bring Ampharos in, maybe scare it out with Dragon Pulse, but I also know that he's going to probably think I'm doing that, and we have the Future Sight coming, so I'm just going to, I believe I Volt Switch here, keep the momentum high. Bring in Mawile, the Intimidate, yeah, Future Sight really, again, there's another big chunk, and all of a sudden Dust Noir was just outside of range here, but I figured, yeah, Dust Noir are going to do an Earthquake. This brings Chestnut in. Chestnut sets up a Leech Seed because there's no grass type. It's a free move. And I figure at that point, yeah, my best move was to bring Ampharos back in because that electric type pressure is just really doing a number. And that must be, I'm thinking that must be like offensive muck, maybe. But Volt Switch, once again, it's free. I get lucky and he misses the gunk shot there. Claydol's got one turn left, so I do one more Future Sight because I want to keep the pressure as high as possible. And Claydol goes down, but definitely one of the cleanest. So Claydol's stat line for this match is 1 appearance, 1 death, no KOs, but absolutely huge in terms of the early game, softening up his team. So Ampharos comes in. Muck is in KO range for Thunderbolt, and nothing is going to want to take it, so in it comes. And then he brings in Dust Noir, and I'm going to get, like, I guess he's thinking go for the Shadow Sneak. He does, no static. I get unlucky, and he lives, but the Future Sight takes it, so again, Claydol helping out. Altaria comes in. I've got a straight switch out. As he goes to the Dragon Dance, and again, this is where Kenava is so dangerous. He sees an opening. He sees that I'm probably locked into something because I'm scarfed, and Altaria can come in and set up. And so he goes for it, and I get bailed out because Mawile hits the play rough. It's able to take a +1 Earthquakes. It's just not that strong from Altaria, and in we come. So Typhlosion comes in. I figure to try and weaken it in case it tries any eruption shenanigans. Sucker Punch, do some chip. In comes Cursula. This is where the match gets really dicey. Now I'm weak armor. Not that it really matters. I take it out with Earth Power. And this, here I'm thinking, wow, suddenly the nerves have come off a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I'm in a really good position. Even as somebody who's drafted Poliwrath before and wanted to run Sub-Salic, I was not ready for it. And here is a great example of passivity being a real problem, because, if I am able to just get a hit off, potentially I get him into Salic range, but Cursula hits hard enough that this should be a KO if he belly drums and Shadow Ball. I didn't think of that. I go for the Strength Sap while he belly drums right in my face, which lowers his attack to a meaningless amount as he goes for Sub-Salic, and I'm just like, oh crap, we need the Shadow Ball, get that out of the way. But now he's going to liquidate. So in comes Chestnut, and this is where my earlier prep bailed me out. I got real lucky, guys. Chestnut is fully defensive and Rocky Helmet. So here, Kenava said that he was going to go for Substitute. He doesn't have quite enough HP to do that. But I also have Spiky Shield, and I figure here, you know what, let's just go for it, because he can't sub, he has to hit me. So he goes to the close combat, he takes some damage, and this did matter, and I believe I lose the game without Spiky Shield and Rocky Helmet. Yeah, close combat takes me out, but Rocky Helmet saves the day. I think in any other scenario, without those two move combination from Chestnut, the match is over. So again, shows you how competitive this division is this season. And here we'll have a little look. Here's the updated standings. So a couple matches still have to be played. The one that is most relevant for playoffs is Quite Gold and Mick. They're going head to head this week. Big playoff implications, especially because Mick only has tough matches left. He's got Kashmir and the Wonder Pets still to go. So he basically has to win and to get in. But I lost to him quite convincingly, a 6-0. So I'm still at the mercy of other people helping me out. So it's going to come down to the wire, that's for sure. Now, what does it mean? Well, my final two matches, I believe next week I'm against Ryan. That's going to be a tough match. He was able to beat Mick in a really good match, and then my final week is against Quite Gold and the Stack Attackers, who has really been a dangerous player in this division, and somebody I think my playoff chances come down to that. If I'm able to finish 5-2, there's enough other infighting here and people that are forced to play each other that I should be able to get through. And the big saving grace is that the guy who's probably going to be most in contention with me for that is Kenava, and I now have the tiebreaker over him, but I do not against Kashmir or Mick. So basically, it's win and we're in, whatever it takes. Need to get the next two, and even then, it still might not go our way. So anyway, hope you'll tune in for the last two games of the season. I'm really excited. I'm hoping we can make playoffs. If not, I'm already pretty happy with this team. Ampharos is our kill leader at 5. We'll see if he comes the next couple weeks, if he can keep that going. But thanks for watching, guys, and like the video, subscribe if you want to keep following along with this season's journey, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.